Good morning, students. Now we will be starting with the fourth module. Yesterday we have seen the dynamic programming, where in dynamic programming we have seen the introduction to dynamic programming. We have also seen the mm, Floyd's and Warshall's algorithm. Floyd's and Warshall algorithm, if you see, Warshall algorithm is given with an adjacency matrix. You need to find out the transitive closure, and in case of Warshall algorithm, transitive closure, and the Floyd's algorithm is given with the distance matrix. You have to find out the um, from the weight matrix, you will be finding the distance matrix, the distance of that is with the shortest path. Now we will move on to the next one, that is your knapsack problem. So when you say it as a knapsack problem, we have already seen in the brute force method that you will be given with a knapsack. Uh, we will be given with n number of items. Each and every item will be having its own weight and value. And we will also be given with the knapsack capacity. So what we need to do is we need to find out what is the subsets. What are the subsets you can form? Among the subsets, you need to find out the most valuable subset which will be fitting into the knapsack. So for this, in dynamic programming, we have seen that whatever subproblems we are solving it and storing it in the table. So here also we are going to represent this uh, formation of the table with the help of the all the items with its corresponding weight and value. So here, when you consider the instance, you will be taking the items into the knapsack, and you will be just finding whether it will be fitting into knapsack or not. So since it is to be the most valuable one, we will be dividing the subsets into two. How we will be dividing? For each one, we need to find out what is its value. So what we do is, to find out the value of any particular item, v of I comma j or whatever it is, what we do is we will be having two options. One is whether the item is included in the subset or not. If the item is included in the subset, we will be just, for example, if you want to find out a v of 4 comma 3, we will be just depending upon the previous one, that is 3 comma 3. Now if it is not included, another subset says that it can be included. If it is if the ith item is going to be included in the set, we need to find out what is the remaining capacity. When the item is inserted into the knapsack, we will be finding out the remaining capacity. And now since we are aiming for a maximum profit, we will be given with two values. We need to, among this, we need to find out the maximum among the two, and you will be finding out the solution. So these are the two subsets which are used for the knapsack problem. So when you go with the knapsack problem, you will be having a value, and you will be saying whether the first item is going to be taken, and if it is going to be considered, what is the maximum among the two values. So for the all the items selected in the previous values, we are just going to find out what is the first I minus 1 items. So we will be coming up with a formula which says that what is your V of I comma j. So V of I comma j will be based on what is the remaining capacity. So the remaining capacity, how you will be identifying is, if your j minus wi is less than 0, which means that you cannot fit the item, current item, into the knapsack. So we will not be calculating anything, just we will move ahead with the previous value. That is, V of I comma j is going to be calculated by saying that if the remaining capacity, whatever, suppose if I am in the third item. Now third item, what is the weight? The weight given is 3. What is the remaining capacity I have? Suppose if I have the remaining capacity only 2, can I fit this third item into the knapsack? It is not possible. So when I am excluding this item, I need not calculate anything. So what I will do for fitting, for calculating the value of V of I comma j, I will be depending only upon V of I minus 1 comma j. Clear? It's understood. But now, if you have the remaining capacity. For example, again, come to the same example. I am going to take the third item. When I take the third item, my remaining capacity was 4. I have taken only the second item where the weight is only 1. So what will be remaining? Totally, I have around 5. The knapsack capacity is 5. So what I will be doing is I will be calculating the remaining capacity. Remaining capacity is 5 minus 1, 4. 4. Obviously, you can include the third item. Why? Because 3 is less than 4. Okay, clear? So when it is less than 4, I need to get a maximum profit. So I will be comparing with two things. One is just the previous value, just to only see what is the value of V of I minus 1 comma j, or I have to say what is the current item's value. For example, if I am choosing item 3, the item 3's value is 20. So 20 plus what is V of I minus 1 comma j minus wi. So whichever comes as maximum, maybe this is maximum, or either this will be maximum or this will be maximum. Whichever is maximum, I'm just going to fit it into the knapsack if the values are there. And hope you remember that in the introduction part, that is when you have seen the dynamic programming, it is based on a recurrence relation, and we have to solve the subproblem, store it in a table. The results will be stored in a table. So for any recurrence relation, you are supposed to give the initial condition. So here, this is the table where you are filling with the initial value. What is the initial value? The initial value is nothing but it is 0. That is being filled in the first row, first column. So if for 0 comma j or I comma 0, if your j and I are greater than or equal to 0, the value will be equal to 0. So we are filling the first row, first column. First, this is your first row, this is your first column. It will be filled with zeros. Okay, so now when you fill this with the zeros, you need to calculate. Your aim is, ultimate aim is to calculate the value of V of n comma w. So this table will be of the size n. What is the number of items? The number of items are 4. So you will be starting with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 4. What is the maximum capacity? Maximum capacity is 5. So again, columns also we will be starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 5. So for this particular problem, the number of columns, that is the size of the table, will be 5 by 6. Why 5 by 6? Because you have the 0th row, 0th column. So we will be saying it as 0 to 4. So there are 4 rows, and column is 0 to 5. So there will be 6 columns. So this is what we are going to calculate. So you have your initial values. Initial values are just you will be filling it and you will be saying it. What is the value? So here, whenever you go for the knapsack, we will see how to calculate it. Okay. So calculation of this is nothing but you are saying that we will be going for a knapsack problem where we will be just checking for um, what is the knapsack capacity and what is the values. So here you are given with an example which says that your W is equal to 6 and you have the respective weight and value for all the 4 items. 4 items weight is 1, 2, 3, 4 it is taken, and you also have the values for each one. The value is taken as 1, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so you will be when you go for the knapsack problem, you will be using the table. We have seen already the formula. By using the formula, you can find out how to do it. So here you are going to see the number of columns, and you will be, so there is from 0 to 6 because our maximum capacity is 6. So the number of columns will be 7, starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what will be the number of rows? The number of rows will be, we have 4 items. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you will be saying that you will be having 5 rows. Now, by using the formula, we need to start it. So we know that the recurrence relation, we have a condition saying that if I or j equal to 0, then your t of I comma j will be equal to 0. So what it indicates? It indicates that your 0 comma 0 is 0. You will also say it as 0 comma 1 is 0. You will also say it as 0 comma 2 is 0, 3 is 0, 6 is 0. So 0 comma 6 is 0. Okay. Then next, when you go with, what we will be doing is, we are checking for I or j equal to 0. So your 1 comma 0 will also be equal to 0. Okay. Similarly, you will be saying it as 2 comma 0 also will be 0. So now we will be going for each row. Each row we will be seeing what is the remaining capacity. If your weight of I minus 1 is greater than j, then you are just depending t of I comma j is t of I minus 1 comma j. So what is the remaining capacity? The remaining capacity is, you have the total capacity as 6. So we will be saying it as whatever the value it's taken for 0 comma 1, you will be taking it as it is. If I want to calculate the value of 1 comma 1, it will be as it is. Else, if not, then you will be finding the maximum among the two. Clear? Oh, 0 comma 0 is 0. So maximum of t of 0 comma 1 and t of 0 comma 0 plus 0 comma 0 plus 1. So what is that? The maximum among 0 and 0 plus 1. Maximum among 0 and 0 plus 1 is nothing but it is equal to 1. So your 1 comma 1 is filled with 1. Okay. Next, when you go for this, we have three conditions. So we are just going to find out for 0 comma 2. So it is 1 comma 2. So it is nothing but 0 comma 2, which is equal to 0. 0 comma 1 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So it will be equal to 1. Now same way you complete everything. That is for 1 comma 0 to 1 comma 6 we have found out. Now we know that it is equal to 0. 2 comma 0 is 0. Because I or j equal to 0, it is 0. So now we have to find out from 2 comma 1. So when you find out from 2 comma 1, how will you find out 2 comma 1? You need to find out what is the remaining capacity. The remaining capacity is greater, so you will be seeing it as it is 1. Okay. So now you will be calculating the maximum among 2. It will be equal to 1 comma 0 plus 3. So you will be saying it as your 2 comma 2 is 3. Next, we will be going with 2 comma 3, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 1 plus 3. So it will be nothing but 1 comma 3 is, so it is 1 comma 1 plus 3, which is equal to 4. So same way you do it for the entire row. Next, once if you finish the second row, what we do is we will be coming for the third row. We know already it is 0, so it is 0. Now we need to start with 3 comma 1. So the same way you apply this formula and find out what is the value. So by applying that, we will be just seeing that it is the remaining capacity. So it will be taking as it is. Now from this, from 3 comma 3 onwards, we will be calculating it. So it is nothing but it is 4. So same way for the next one also, 3 comma 4. uh, next, once if you finish this row, you please come to the next row where you will be seeing it as 4 comma 0 is 0. Now from this 4 comma 1, it is the previous value, so it is 134, and now we will be calculating the value for 4 comma 4. It is 3 comma 4 and 3 comma 0 plus 6. So 0 plus 6 is nothing but 5 and 6, your maximum is 6. So again 4 comma 5, 3 comma 5 and 3 comma 1 plus 6. So it is nothing but it is 3 comma 5, you know what is the value, 7, 7 and 1 plus 6, 7. Again maximum among 3 comma 6 and 3 comma 2 plus 6. So it is maximum of 7 comma 3 plus 6. So it is 9. Okay, so this is how we need to find out the value. So once if you find out the value, you will be getting to know how to use the dynamic programming method and fill this table to get the value. So here we have got what is 4 comma 6, that is n comma w. 4 comma 6 is nothing but it is 9. So the maximum profit here we have obtained is 9 for this example. So now this is one part where we are filling the table. So here an example is taken where we need to find out the values for each and every one. Okay, you first find out the value of j minus wi. If your j minus wi is less than 0, for example, if you are in the third if you are in 2 comma 3, I is 2, j is 3, and you see what is the corresponding weight for that particular item, second item, and based on that you will be seeing what is the remaining value. The remaining value is less than 0, you fill it with the previous value. If it is greater than or equal to 0, you have to calculate it. So now we have achieved what is to be done. So what is the maximum profit here? The maximum profit is 37. So now we will be matching it with the previous item and find out what is the what are the items included into the knapsack. The items included into the knapsack, you can see that it will be checking with the 32. When it is checking with the 32, that is your 4 comma 5 n comma w will be checked with n minus 1 comma w. So 37 is not equal to 32. So when it is not equal to 32, your item 4 is taken. When item 4 is taken, you reduce 2. So when you reduce 2, it will become the remaining weight will become 3. Why? Because the maximum capacity is 5. So now you have to see the remaining is 3. So 3 comma 3, whether it is equal to 2 comma 3. Yes, it is equal. So third item is not included. Now again, since it is not included, we need not reduce. So now your 2 comma 3, it is checked with 1 comma 3, that is the previous items. It is not the same, so we will be including second item. So what is remaining? What is the remaining capacity? 3. What is the weight of the second item? 1. So 3 minus 1, it is 2. So you will be seeing whether this 1 comma 3, whether it is equal to 0 comma 3. It is not. So we will be taking item 1 also. So we know that what are the 3 items included in the set, what is the maximum capacity. Maximum capacity directly from the table, that is n comma w, you will be getting it. But whereas whatever items included in the set, that can be compared and then you have to take the values. Okay, so this is how you need to calculate your knapsack problem. So now when you go for the memory functions, okay, the memory functions, you can see that there are two types of memory functions, that is either the top down approach or the bottom up approach. Top down, what it does, it will be solving the common subproblems more than once, and it's considered to be very, very inefficient. See, here all the problems are solved, subproblems are solved, so it takes a lot of time. So when it takes a lot of time, you will be saying that the efficiency will also be increasing, time taken will also be increasing. In bottom up, what you will be doing, you will be filling the table with the solutions to all smaller subproblems, but each of the smaller subproblems will be solved only once. So the drawback of the bottom up and the top down has to be considered over here. So the drawback here is to solve all the smaller subproblems even if it is not necessary. So we will be solving it everything. But so combine this top down and bottom up to get a method that will be solving only the subproblems that are necessary, and it is done only once. So such a method is nothing but it is called as the memory functions. So this method will be solving by the top down approach, but you create a table which has to be filled in by the bottom up. So here what you are doing is you will be given with a table, the same table which we have seen it previously. So in this table, what we are doing is we are supposed to initialize with a special null symbol, which will be indicating that they have not been calculated, which is called as the virtual initialization. So here we have some of the values. You can see here it is given as null. Okay, the others after doing the algorithm it is been filled up, but initially if you see all the values will be null. So in that case you have to check if the entry is not null, then you have to retrieve it from the table. If the entry is null, then we will be using the recursive call to record the value into the table. So here you are given with an algorithm. What is the algorithm? We are going to say that there are n items. Each item will be having its corresponding weight and value, which is a single dimensional array. And we will be storing these values in the form of a two-dimensional array where the size will be varying from 0 to n and 0 to w. So uh, every row and column here in the table, it has to be filled with the null value, except which one? This is the initial value, so you are not supposed to fill with the null value, then the entire thing will go wrong. So what you need to do is you need to say that the first row, first column is filled with zeros. So except for row and 0 and column 0, you initialize with the zeros, except that you make everything it as null. Now, what we are doing, we have a formula. What is the formula? I'll just to show you what is the formula. The formula is nothing but your v of I comma j is v of I minus 1 comma j if your j minus wi is less than 0. If it is greater than or equal to 0, what you will do? You will have two things, and from that you will be taking the maximum among the two values. So if your j is less than w of I, then your value will be um, based on called the knapsack algorithm with I minus 1 comma j. That is, you are just taking the previous value. Else, if your j is greater than or equal to weight of I, that is that there is some remaining capacity, you can include the ith item. That's the meaning of it. So when we are including the item, since it is a maximization problem, we aim for a maximum value. So you just compare the previous values and just to see what is the maximum among the two. So you will be taking a maximum of the knapsack algorithm. It's a recursive algorithm, so you will be passing with I minus 1 comma j and v of I, or the value of I, plus knapsack of I minus 1 comma j minus w of I, or the weight of I. So whatever value you are getting it, you have to, based on this condition, you will be using the two formulas and you will write an algorithm. Whatever value is calculated, it is stored to v of I comma j. So this will be stored with a value. So if you find, suppose you want the value of 2 comma 4, it's a null value, calculate the value. Okay, so here we have calculated up to 4,5 by using this algorithm. So when you are calculating what is being seen, noticed here we are clubbing both top down and bottom up approach. So we say that once a value is calculated, it is recorded in a table and it is stored only, it is solved only once. So whatever is given as null value, which means that this subproblems are not required for knowing the solution. So when it is not required, we are not going to solve these uh, values. So all these are mentioned as the null values. So whatever the remaining, the first zeroth row, zeroth column will be filled with the zeros, but the remaining things which you are going to calculate from 1 comma 1 to 4 comma 5, it will be depending upon whether it is essential or not. Once if it is needed, we will be solving it, or else we just ignore it. Okay, so here you are given with an algorithm where you are finding out more the best two. So here the time taken by the algorithm will be same as what is that we have seen for the bottom up approach. The time and the space efficiency for this algorithm is n into w. That is, we are depending upon the matrix. So this table. So this table is of size 4 comma 5. 4 is the number of items, 5 is the maximum capacity. So it is nothing but it is the number of items n comma w. So we will be saying it as n into w. The time needed for finding what is the subset, what are the items included into the set, is based on n plus w. So this is all about the knapsack problem and the memory functions. The knapsack problem, if you see, you will be seeing that the knapsack problem is nothing but it is solved based on the dynamic programming, where you need to uh, find out the maximum profit. So for that, you will be given with n number of items and you need to get the solution. So when you are getting it, it is a subset. So an item can either be included or it can be excluded. So once if we are including the item, then we have to see how to calculate the values. So if you are not including the item, you need not do any calculation. It depends upon the previous value. But once if you are including the item, then we can say that we need to calculate the previous item. It is not only depending upon the previous item, but it is also including with the current value. So add it up, find out which is maximum. So that can be obtained by using this formula. This is a recurrence relation. So you need a initial value is nothing but we are saying that 0 comma j as well as I comma 0 both will be equal to 0 for all I and j as greater than or equal to 0. Now our goal is to find out the value of n comma w. So to find out the value of n comma w, you fill all the table, find out what is the solution. So here we are getting the solution by using all the 4 items with its corresponding weight and value. Maximum capacity is also given as 5. So based on that, you draw the table and fill the value. Here we are having something called as memory function, which is the combination of both um, top down and bottom up, where you will be creating a table with initialized with a null value, except for the 0th row and 0th column we will be indicating it as a null value. If at all you need the require the values, then you will be just checking in the table whether it is already filled. If it is filled, we just retrieve. For example, when you are in the third row, if you need the value of 1 comma 2, just to check whether it is filled. Yes, it is filled, then you just retrieve the value. Otherwise you need to calculate it by using the formula. So for that we have this algorithm is recursively being invoked with all the values, and you will be finding what is the final value. So the time taken and space efficiency for this is also been mentioned. So that's all for your dynamic programming. So in dynamic programming, we have seen the introduction of it with the Fibonacci sequence, how to have a recursive call as well as binomial coefficient calculation. Then we have seen the Warshall and Floyd's algorithm. Then we have also seen the knapsack problem with the time memory functions. So you need to work out with some problems and check um, whether you are clear with the topic or not. If at all you have any doubts, you can get back to me. So that's all for this session. Um, Next, we have in the same module, we have the greedy technique. We will see what is the technique, what is the concept implemented for the greedy technique. So based on the concept, we may have to use some algorithm and solve some of the problems which is mentioned for the greedy technique. So and in the next class, we will be moving on to the greedy technique and see some of the problems like spanning tree or here we have seen the Floyd's algorithm where the Floyd's algorithm says that it is all pair shortest path. But in the greedy technique, we are going to have a single source shortest path. We will see what's the difference between all pairs and single source shortest path when you go for the dynamic programming technique. So guess that hope that you all have understood the concepts of all these for various topics. So in the next class we will be moving on to the next topic.